Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls around the world. We are not ashamed of the good news of conservatism, for it is the power of liberation. First to the Republican and then the Socialist. Yours truly, the exceptional one at the helm. I did not mean to offend you, but if I did, so be it. Mary Brockman, my bouncers in the chat roll tonight. Well, she should be there. She should be coming soon. And so many others are diving into the chat room at theexceptionalconservativeshow.com. Lovely Mrs. Biggs is watching us via live stream and via Ustream. You know how we get this thing going, people. We're ready to rock and roll. You are listening to us around the world, live from Washington, D.C. I want to make an announcement real quick for those who had intentions of seeing me in Cleveland at the Republican National Convention. The event in which we were scheduled. Okay, I gotta get a handle on that one. Okay, there we go. Cool. All right. Thank you very much for the music. Ladies and gentlemen, the event that was scheduled where I was to speak at the Veteran and Minority Engagement on Monday, July the 18th has been canceled in Cleveland. We want to thank the Texas Conference of Black Mayors for attempting to bring us all together to speak. And they have advised me that there's some event on Thursday that they want me to be a part of. I'll find out more details about that, but I'll let you all know as things progress in that regard. Ladies and gentlemen, there is much in the air in Washington, D.C. Today, simply because tomorrow there will be, without a shadow of a doubt, a hearing by Congress, the House of Representatives, seeking to understand how is it that a woman as guilty as Hillary Rodham Clinton, and you can go through the speech of the FBI Director James Comey. How can a woman as guilty as she? You can just check it off, mark after mark after mark after mark. Yeah, she's guilty of all that. But why can't we not find a reasonable prosecutor who's really be radical enough to take up the charge of prosecuting Hillary Rodham Clinton? And so there will be a hearing tomorrow amongst the House of Representatives. I believe in the coming weeks, the U.S. Senate will also attempt to do a hearing. But there are some people who are amazed on all sides. And we'll be getting into that later on with none other than Lonnie Poindexter, who'll come up at 9:30. At 10 o'clock, we release the Kraken. Ralph J. Chittams Sr. joins us. And in the last quarter hour of the program, Shannon Wright will join us. The Shannon Wright. Tonight at 9:10, we'll be speaking with Denise Parks. She is the CEO of Layered Strategies, and she has an organization called Jump for Dreams, and they have put together a wonderful program to actually help underserved individuals get into college. And so we'll be speaking with her in just a few. You know how we get this thing kicked. Let's get it into high gear, ladies and gentlemen. Love you, Mary. I love you dearly. Let us put our hand over our heart, right hand over our heart, and let's pledge allegiance with the children. Lead us, kids.
Parents, ready, begin. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Woo! That's how you kick off a show. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the last Exceptional Conservative Show for the week. Tomorrow night at 9:05 p.m., we will be doing New Day Black and Red with the great host, Dr. Michael Jones, better known as the Underground Professor. I will be his peon in study. So stay tuned for that. Ladies and gentlemen, this young woman met me a few months ago, in fact, and we had conversations about how we can actually change urban America. She has a wonderful program that she has begun and is working on, and has made great strides to bring individuals to the table to support her, as she is seeking corporate support, of course, as well as individual support to help the undeserved get into college. But not to be given something, to earn it. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we are one Mississippi, two Mississippi, contacting none other than the CEO of Layered Strategies, Miss Denise Parks. And it will be a tremendous honor for us to talk with her this particular evening.
Hi, you reached Kathy Barnett. I'm not.
Oh, that's the wrong one. Okay. Oops. We are not talking with Kathy Barnett. I know what you're thinking. They all look alike. You would think I had this down pat. I tell you, nothing like genius to be at work when you need it to be. I apologize to you all. Okay, let us get this right. And I apologize again. Okay. See, we can make mistakes. It's okay to make mistakes. If I didn't make any, you all would think I was not human. I display to you my humanity every night on my program. There we go.
Hello, Kathy Barnett.
This is not Kathy Barnett. Oh my goodness. I do apologize.
No. It's Denise.
You have got to love this woman's sense of humor already off the bat. Love you. Okay, if you can tone it down in the back, we are talking with what a wonderful sense of humor. The CEO of Layered Strategies, a business development organization and organizer. Denise Parks, it is an honor and privilege to have you on the air with us tonight.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here.
Listen, I had an initial conversation with you a few months back, and you were putting together a regional basketball tournament. And I want to ask you, first and foremost, as a corporate leader, first and foremost, why is that any of your concern at all? I mean, shouldn't you be concerned about just making profits and steering business and stuff towards you?
You know what? We're all concerned about that. However, the reality is that every single thing that we do today has a footing for what happens tomorrow. And even though I can be focused on my business today, it still matters what our young women and men of tomorrow are going to do. So as Layered Strategies, I focus on what's going on now, but I also believe that I need to give back and focus on my community at the same time.
And people wonder, I mean, you are a very successful woman. How do you find time to concern yourself with the underserved populations and concerned about them going to college? Where is the time you have for all of this?
The reality is that I don't think that I sit down and say I'm going to carve out time. I think I just find it. And we do nothing alone. And I have support from so many different people, whether it be family, friends, or even people that I meet like you. And it's really the effort of everyone in the community that helps to get this done. And it's time from everyone, so it's not just me.
Now, a lot of people would say, well, as a corporate leader, you're just doing this to get promotion. You know, you just want to be on the big screen, and everybody wants to pay homage to you for reaching out to the community. You've done your bit, right? Is that what this is, or is there something deeper to all of this?
That's not what this is at all.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's always something deeper. And I know that where I am right now, I could have never gotten to the place where I am had it not been for the support of my community. And the layers of support in my community is what has made the big difference. You know, when I graduated from high school, I went into the Navy, and after that, I came home and I attended St. Johnson University. And, you know, I was a new mom at the time.
Yeah.
But not going to college just never seemed to be an option for me. And, you know, I remember I applied to college, and I was super excited to have been accepted by what they call the Redmen back then, but now they're known as Red Storm. And I never took time to think about exactly how am I going to pay for this? What am I going to do? I just knew that I had to go to college. And when I went to college, it really took the support of the community for me to get through those times. So when you ask me about focusing on my business and what it means to me, the reality is that it takes the effort of everyone, and it matters to me what happens to the community. And this is not just where I want to promote my business, because that's not what this is about. This is about the community and our students and our aspiring young men and women of tomorrow.
We are talking with none other than Denise Parks, and it's a great privilege to talk with her. She is a corporate leader in our country, and yet she has not turned her back on the dreams of so many who can't see as far as she does in corporate America or even in life in general. And so she's come up with a strategy for reaching them and offering scholarships to individuals who earn their way to college. This is not a giveaway, and it's not one of those affirmative action type things. It's an opportunity for individuals to use their gifts and skills to achieve at every end of the court in basketball and it's in life. It's called Jump for Dreams. Ms. Parks, were you an athlete of some type? And thank God so much for your service to our country. We really appreciate that. But were you an athlete?
Thank you.
Or do you see something in athleticism that actually conveys to someone succeeding in college?
Absolutely. So the first question is, was I an athlete? I was a track runner.
Woo.
I ran up and down the track, around the court, and everything else like that.
Jealous.
And I did track all year round. But basketball, that's all, as long as the ball didn't have to go in the hoop. That wasn't my thing. So, but I definitely, I love the game. Yeah. I absolutely love the game. And the most that I knew about it was when I would hear someone say, I would post you up. Mm-hmm. So I just knew that was basketball lingo. So I would see someone who was 6 feet, and I would say, I'll post you up. And then when I found out what it really meant, and being 5'3" and an 8, that's when I really realized what it meant, and that's when I understood the humor behind me telling someone over 6 feet that I would post you up. But the reason why I Jump for Dreams and why basketball is because basketball is a team sport.
Yes. And
just like life, you cannot get through anything without the support of others. And if you liken a basketball court to that of life, you'll realize that it's a matter of you cannot get from one end to the other end without someone assisting you in some fashion. You can't even make that basket if someone doesn't have your back in some fashion. And that basket is comparative to your dreams and you reaching your goals. And that's why I thought of Jump for Dreams and a basketball tournament, because the purpose of the tournament is to bring regions together. There are 4 different areas. It would be Northwest, Southeast, DC, and Maryland, and 8 teams from each area to be able to come forward to compete in this tournament. And the winning team from each area, which would be 4 teams, would come together for a championship, compete for $5,000.
Wow. Wow.
And, thank you. And you have to be age 18 and older. Now, yes, we all have basketball tournaments for the younger kids. And that's great because they do matter.
Yeah.
But you know what? When they're no longer cute and cuddly and they're past the age of 18, many of us seem to not recognize them. So this is an opportunity for us to look up to our local athletes and our local heroes and appreciate them and cheer them on that court at the same time and bring them in from different regions. And the reason why I chose regions was because I felt that we don't know one another.
Yeah.
And not knowing one another, not being a part of the communities, not stepping outside of our doors, and even doing something as simple as hello or hey, what's up, man? How you doing? Whatever it is, whatever it takes to say hello, we don't do that anymore. But if we can come under one common roof for one common goal, which is to appreciate one another and the skill of man, I believe that we can be able to come together as one. And that's why I think we have so many problems with people killing one another because they don't know one another.
Yeah, I believe that as well. It's a loss of being neighbors. We have turned everything into community when we need to be neighbors. Your four regions are Washington, D.C., Maryland, West Virginia, and Virginia. And you have to be 18 in order to play in this particular tournament. Do you have any places that are already lined up where the tournament will take place?
Actually, yes. I have two places that everyone said, I don't know if you're going to get that. And I just love a challenge. So I went ahead and I kept focused on it. And I was able to get Mary Washington University and University of Maryland. So both of those schools will be hosting the tournaments.
Wow.
And yes, so I was super excited.
Well, you should be. I mean, those are, Maryland University and the University of Mary Washington are preeminent colleges in the Washington metropolitan, basically just the region itself, with great basketball lore. So congratulations to you in doing that. Offering also championship playoff money for about $5,000 for the teams that will compete. Now, and this, I know you might be independently wealthy and you really don't need anybody's help, right?
Oh, it would be great if that were truly the case, but being that it's not, it's the sponsorships, it's people reaching in and reaching out and still assisting. I believe so much in these scholarships. So very quickly, the reason why I came up with this is for book scholarships.
Yes.
And the reason why I came up with book scholarships was because when I was in college, I had to choose between, was I going to eat lunch? Was I going to be able to pay for my bus? Or was I going to walk and starve and be able to afford those textbooks?
Yes.
Because it was either that or you had to make copies. Because during those days, you paid 10 cents a page for a copy.
Yes.
And it wasn't online, You went to the copy receipt, and it was a little change button that you have to put in. And, and back then, you had to decide, did you want to save that dime for the copy machine or that dime to go to the telephone, to the payphone, to make that emergency phone?
Exactly.
It kind of reminds you of the Susan, of the Peebo Bryson song, where he talks about, saving that every dime to make that phone call. And, I had choices to make. So I chose to pay for books, and the bus driver, when I didn't have money to put money in the bus driver would let me on. When I didn't have money to pay for lunch that day, the lunch lady made sure that I ate. When I was too tired and I fell asleep on the bus, I had a different bus driver that woke me up at the bus depot and put me on the next bus back home for free. I had a teacher. My instructors would allow for me to bring in a portable playpen, and I would set my newborn daughter up in the back of the classroom. And she would just coo in the back of the class, and class would continue.
Yeah.
And at the end of class, I'd pack her up, and I'd go along my way. And it really was the support of the community in various ways that helped me to get through college. And then I have my daughter who just graduated from Virginia Tech. That would be Regine Parks, and I'm so proud of her. And, she having to pay for her books as well reminded me of how much that actually took. So to get back to your point of being independently wealthy, I'm not. I saved my money little by little so that I could be able to help someone else pay for their books. And we gave our first scholarship to a student, Rakara Fuller,
Wow.
at Howard University. I saved $5 some week, $10 another week, and I was able to accumulate $500. And we were able to take care of that for her, So it's every little bit that counts.
Exactly. Now, these students who are getting these scholarships, they're earning this. This is just not
Absolutely.
This is just not a giveaway. I want to show you that we have wealth that we want to expend. These children are earning their way to school.
They are. Basically, what it is that because C students matter.
Yes.
We have situations that keep us from. It's not because we don't have the ability or that we don't care, or we have different reasons for why we get the grades that we do. And so the scholarships focus on students who are between GPAs of 2.5 to 2.9. And as long as they meet those eligibility requirements, and I work with each individual school. And one last thing that I'd like to point out is that each year that we have this tournament, the fundraising goal focuses on endowments for different universities so that we can be able to spread this nationwide, because the funds are not just for the purpose of those textbooks, but it's to be able to create mentorship programs so that our older boys and girls are able to impact what the younger ones are doing. And, I really feel that I don't get to complain about anything. All I get to do is something about it. And my something is jump for dreams. It's so we can be able to support our aspiring young adults, our existing students who are becoming our men and women that anchors the prosperity of tomorrow. So I really want for us to be able to invigorate and bring communities together to keep dreams alive by supporting our students.
I think you've done a wonderful job with putting this all together. Final points here. Now, you need the support of corporate America. Is there some way that people can contact you who are corporate leaders like you and get involved? And then secondly,
Absolutely.
Are there individual donors who may not necessarily own corporations or whatever, but want to be a part of what you're doing because they see the value of your mentorship, and you provide financial counseling as well for the students. So go right ahead. Can you tell us all of that?
Absolutely. So for corporate sponsorship, the way that this works is that because there are going to be 32 teams, we are looking for 32 corporations. That is in addition to the other sponsorships from individuals and other businesses. But the reason why that corporate sponsorship is important is because their names go on the back of those teams.
Yes.
And so that means that as those teams are running back and forth across the court, we're also talking about your business.
Wow.
And at the end of the day, after we go through all of these different festivities, and we're also going to have entertainment on the weekend of the championship. We have a flash mob coming out. We have dance teams coming out. We have different things that are going to be happening. Then we will have an award recognition gala so that we can recognize the winning teams, the winning sponsorship corporation, the community leader, and the students that were given scholarships that year. So this is an opportunity to just keep recognizing and appreciating everything that the community has done to keep this alive.
Terrific. And what page can people go to get information about your program?
I guess that would be good. I guess we would need that.
Mm-hmm.
That would be jumpfordreams.com. And on the homepage, you'll see at the very bottom, where you can donate, and you can donate any amount that you want. But for corporate sponsorships, we are looking for $2,500 to start with, and that's because this is to be able to create the first endowment for Howard University. And we have a fundraising goal to be able to pay for the prize money, to be able to pay for the expenses and all those things. So again, we spoke about my wealth and its existence or non-existence. So all of these things are necessary.
I just think it's so admirable. Jumpfordreams.com, everybody. I think it's so admirable. You're providing financial counseling for those who are in need of it. You are.
Yes.
This is not midnight basketball. This is.
No.
Can you explain why this is not midnight basketball? And then I'll give you another opportunity to tell everybody where to go to donate, to support, and to help.
Yes, absolutely. And also for teams to sign up. But very quickly, I'll just tell you what the vision is. Mm-hmm. The vision, word for word, is to pilot a mentoring summer program in the DMV area that extends throughout the year, that develops and nurtures thoughtful, healthy, progressive, and conscientious citizens with a primary focus on our at-risk youths and young adults, and can prosper as well as expand across the nation. So basically, this is where we want a mentoring program that children can be able to live in their community and work in their community and feel safe in their communities, while also having these people that are in these tournaments come back out and work in the community with them, as opposed to just saying, okay, let's just play ball now.
Yeah. Now, again, first and foremost, let me just tell you that I was honored when I met you the first time. More than gracious for you to consider the Exceptional Conservative Show as your place to make the announcement of the outing that's to be scheduled for Jump for Dreams, jumpfordreams.com. And I am just ever so thankful for you being a corporate leader that you are. And you're she is quite reserved in terms of the power and recognition she has in America. But to actually take the time to offer this to so many young people who may not have ever met you on Wall Street or in LA or any place else of that particular nature, you're opening a door that they can go through to someday become just like you. And we thank you so much.
Thank you.
How can people, Denise, and this is Denise Parks, the CEO of Layered Strategy. So if your business needs include her. I mean, what better opportunity to do this than right now? This is Denise Parks, CEO of Layered Strategies. How do people get in contact with you? A telephone number, website, so on.
Telephone number is 718-350-0717 or 202-770-1299. And the website is jumpfordreams.com. You can be able to reach me there, and I will respond. And I'm excited, and I look forward to hearing from everyone. And again, we are looking for teams. We are looking for all of those people out there that love to talk all that smack and say, oh, but if I was still young and if I were playing ball, well, here you go. You can play now.
Oh.
And there's no excuses about the knees or anything else like that.
That's right.
So,
that's right. Bring it. $500
yes,
scholarships.
yes.
I would bring it. I remember those times of Roman noodles.
Yes.
Books. God bless you. Thank you so much, Denise, for being with us tonight.
Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. You'll be in the coming weeks. We'll have her back on. Ladies and gentlemen, Denise Parks, that is an extreme honor to be able to talk with someone like her. We'll be right back with more of the best in urban conservative talk. We'll be talking with Lonnie Poindexter. Yeah, your bathroom at church may not be what you used to think it would be. We'll be right back.
It's a love story like no other. From God's heart to yours. And for 30 years, it's been at the heart of every book, Bible, CD, gift, and resource from ChristianBook.com. Over 500,000 products, always at the very best value. ChristianBook.com. Everything Christian, because it's our story too.
From day's first light till night's last glimmer, your satisfaction is our responsibility. On the range or in the field of duty, you can rely on Brownell's lifetime guaranteed gun parts, tools, and supplies. Anytime, any place. It's how we've done business since 1939. Brownell's.
Now, at Brownell's, we know you may have only one shot to harvest that trophy, so we have thousands of accessories and replacement parts to improve your chances. We know how much you love to shoot, so our gunsmiths articles and videos will help you do more and get more out of your guns. We also value your hard work and money. That's why only Brownell's backs up everything we sell with a 100% unconditional lifetime guarantee. Brownell's, the world's largest supplier of firearm accessories and gunsmithing tools.
From coast to coast, there is one bank focused on building a better future. One bank with programs you can trust to help boost your economic picture. One United Bank. With rates better than the national average, no hidden fees, and even cashback debit cards, you will feel the boost in your budget. One United Bank, the premier bank for urban communities in Boston, Miami, and Los Angeles. Visit us at oneunited.com or call 877-1UNITED today. Member FDIC.
Ladies and gentlemen, I know that some of you all tuned in tonight, and welcome back to the Exceptional Conservative Show live from the nation's capital, Washington, D.C. Some of you all tuned in tonight with the expectation that this was going to be the night that we do the planned financial planning work, credit counseling, and so on. We will do that on Monday night, July the 11th. At 9 p.m. And this is what I want you all to do. You all just heard One United Bank, their TV ad. There is for those who need to redo and refurbish and get their credit back in order. You may have come out of a bankruptcy. You may have come out of a foreclosure. Your credit may have just gotten right. You took care of settling all your debts and things of that nature, but you can't find a bank that would be willing to give you a credit card so you can restart your credit history. One United Bank offers a product to help you recover and to help you get your credit back in order. It's a $250 secured credit card. I encourage you to put your order in for your secured credit card. You can do it tonight on the front page of the Exceptional Conservative Show down, exceptionalconservativeshow.com. You can scroll down, you can click on One United Bank, and you can order your secured credit card directly from. In fact, while you're listening to tonight's program, you can do that. And that way you'll be ahead of the schedule for when we meet on Monday night. We'll be talking about getting your credit back in order. So get your secured credit card from Unity Credit. Now, we are calling one ringy dingy, two ringy dingies, none other than my very good friend, Lonnie Poindexter. We didn't get him Monday night, but we're getting him tonight.
Hello.
Good evening, Mr. Poindexter. It is a great honor and privilege to have you on the air with us.
The exceptional one. Good to be on your show, brother. How's it going?
Just fine. Listen, let me play the intro. Okay, here we go.
Welcome to Lionchasers, where faith and public policy intersect. And now, your lion chaser in the good fight of faith, Lonnie Poindexter, on Urban Family Talk.
We're not saying that there's not instances where there's maybe racial injustice somewhere. This is America, and people are human, and there's sin in the world. He's a president of first. He's the first president to say that America is not a Christian nation any longer. But, we'll pray for our enemies while we defeat them.
You can't blame folks for messing up the city. There has not been an elected Republican in council in Baltimore City in over 50 years.
In the co-captain's chair with me today, Reverend Ralph Chittams.
What's happened is the social justice movement has now been hijacked by a godless movement.
Don't be bamboozled. Ladies and gentlemen, Frederick Douglass was a gun-toting conservative. It's not a black or a white issue. It's a God versus anti-God issue. And I know those would say, well, it's all rigged. That's all a game, Lonnie. Because I get that a lot. And there are the crew that has their bags packed at the train station waiting for Jesus to come back. He'll be here in a minute. Oh, a train went by. Another train went by. No, it wasn't Jesus. But he's coming. Meanwhile, Rome is burning. The host of the Black Man Thinking Radio Show. Welcome to the show, Stanley Levy.
Good morning, Lonnie. How are you?
The core issues the bull elephants aren't in the home. We got to do away with the entitlement programs and the things that hamstring us.
And that's where the conservative viewpoints really resonate for my generation.
I want to welcome to the show the host of the Exceptional Conservative Show, and that's my brother Kenneth McClinton. Welcome, brother.
Lonnie, it's an honor and privilege always to be with your ever-expanding audience.
Let your listeners be Lionchasers with Lonnie Poindexter. If Lionchasers sounds right for your station or network, contact Will Addison by email, waddison@afa.net. Encourage your listeners to be Lionchasers with Lonnie Poindexter and Urban Family Talk.
I'm encouraging my listeners to become Lion Chasers, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Monday through Friday on Urban Family Talk. Become a cherubim, as Mary and Dave are.
Well, I gotta tell you, man, every time you play that promo, you make me blush, and as a black guy, I gotta look at my palms to see if I can.
Listen, they can listen to you in New York and Idaho. I'm telling you, that's awesome. You are heard the world over, and the world all over will soon hear about what you'll be talking about this week. One of those particular stories happens to deal with the LGBT QRSTUVWXYZ community in the great state of Iowa, where they grow corn.
Yeah.
Apparently, Iowans are now under a federal lawsuit by the Iowa Civil Rights Commission or something to that effect, because churches are places of public accommodation. Am I right?
Yes, and this is something that we've predicted that they at some point would start marching right up into your pulpit and telling you what you can say and what you can do. And if you have to be a state-based organization, this is what's real today.
Wow. So apparently, according to the Iowa Civil Rights Commission, the LGBTQIJKLMNOSP2, so they just keep adding stuff, man. I don't want to offend them. I just want to keep adding all the initials with them. But apparently, they were told, Cornerstone is the name of the church in Iowa, was threatened by the LGBTQ community that their bathrooms need to be modern. And now most people are thinking modern, that you would bring them in from outside and put them inside the church. But that's not it. Apparently, there's this indication that public accommodation means that if you open your doors, your church doors on Sunday morning or Wednesday night or for the Saturday morning meeting, however way you do it, if you open your church to the public, then your bathrooms must be the same type of bathrooms, or at least in terms of accommodation, as found at City Hall. Meaning that if City Hall has a bathroom with half a skirt and pants, then guess what? Your church has to have bathrooms that resemble the same thing. Lonnie, have you broached this with your people on the program before?
This is a topic that we've touched on lightly. I'm going to be looking more into it the next week, taking a cue from you. But it's nothing that, two things came to mind. First of all, when you said the LGBTQRSTUV, for some reason I got a Aretha Franklin song, Respect, in my head. Find out what it means. So the LGBT not how you get respect. What this is a strong arm tactics. You know, they don't want merely equal rights. They want to take over and push back and silence those of us who have a contrary point of view. Let me give you an example of how bad things can be. I'm a Californian, born and raised Californian. And in California, when they passed the federal ADA, American Disabilities Act, compliance was done in California. California went over and above to the point where today, right now in California, in Sacramento, there was one of these facilities where kids can go to in the inner city and so forth, sports facilities. They can go to play basketball, they shoot hoops, baseball, they have professional athletes come in and tutor them. It's a beautiful thing that was put into the community. They had all types of sports and things the kids can get involved with to keep them out of trouble. Well, one of the Gestapo from the ADA compliance community, whose mission in life is a gentleman who is if I'm not mistaken, he's a paraplegic, and he has a law degree, and make it his mission in life to go up and down the state and attack businesses that he thought were not being ADA compliant. Well, he went after this facility because he said that you guys have a mezzanine up there where you can sit and watch the kids play basketball, but there's no elevator going up there, and my rights are not being met because I'm in a wheelchair and I can't get up to the mezzanine. Now, they have full accommodations for him on the first floor, but he wanted to be in the mezzanine. Did you know he took them to court, and the city of Sacramento fined those individuals and shut them down because they could not afford the $275,000 at minimum cost to put in an elevator for one individual who wants to get up to the mezzanine level. And that's where we're headed with these foolish laws based upon this false narrative that's coming from 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue being forced upon us as the faith-based community. And if we don't stand up and push back, brother, it's only going to get worse.
Lonnie, you come from an area and near Compton, and you're not too far from Oakland. And you know the story of what happened when all of a sudden San Francisco became the tech center for mankind. And houses that used to go for pennies on the dollar were now going for tens on the dollar. And those houses in value were greater than the churches in the neighborhood. And what happened was they began to try to buy out the churches. And one church recently in Oakland was about to be fined by the zoning board $1,000 for having too much noise from its choir in the community. What many in the church don't understand is that these groups understand the law. They're Pharisees of Pharisees. They understand the law, not the spirit of the law that we come with. Let us all love and kumbaya. No, they understand the letter of the law. And they're coming and they're trying to force churches out of communities, which will also remove the morality from a community, or the threat of morality from community. Am I right about that?
I agree, brother. In fact, the only thing that holds up Oakland, California, and similar communities in California is the church. You and I both know that, but we also know that the city and the city council members and those who movers and shakers in the city don't see the church as a valuable asset because they can derive no revenue from the church. So they just assume see them close down. It's a crazy value proposition to take because when you remove the churches, there's nothing but chaos left in those very cities. They could not hire enough law enforcement to keep all the foolishness in check that needs to be kept in check in most inner cities, and particularly in Oakland.
We're talking tonight with the official Cherubim of America, the Lionchaser extraordinaire himself, Lonnie Poindexter, whom you can hear on Urban Family Talk. And you're going to put that in your browser at the end of this particular conversation because we're going to get the information of how to actually do so. But I want to digress for a moment on the profundity of the court case in Iowa because it's a federal case. And if the federal judges agree that the LGBTQI community is accurate in its assertion regarding public accommodations and laws reported under a public accommodation, and it would then go on to the Supreme Court, of course, it probably in the next 2 to 3 years. But if the Supreme Court confirms that the lower court was right either by not listening to the case or agreeing with the case participants, your church, Mr. and Mrs. America, would have to spend a whole lot of money and fixing the bathrooms to make them meet the accommodations for the LGBTQI community. Lonnie, you and I both know that some of these churches are just hanging on after the extended recession under Obama. Are they aware, like the African-American urban churches, are they aware that their kindred alliance politically may cost them economically?
No, I think they're clueless, to be quite honest. And I know we're generalizing here, but when you consider that 90+% of the black community overwhelmingly supports a political party and agenda that's adverse to their very existence, I would say they are. But a little heat coming, and the heat is coming, is going to be able to force their hand. They're going to have to make a decision. They're either going to roll over and morph on issues of morality so that they can stay compliant and out of the crosshairs of this, I don't know what to call them, given what we saw here recently with the FBI, but they're going to have to roll over so they can get out of the crosshairs, or they're going to have to take some type of stand because they are hanging on by a thread. The recession killed donations with most churches, you know that, across America, and black churches are at the bottom of the economic spectrum. That's no surprise there as well. And so I think, Ken, that it's going to force them to either wake up and, as my niece was saying, smell the coffee, Uncle Lon, as to what's really going on, or they're going to go away.
Now,
I see churches closing.
Yeah.
You know, we already see, you and I both know that, I forget what the stats are, but there's a record number of pastors and clergy and so forth that move away from the profession every month.
Yes.
I mean, it's high as and the divorce rates and everything else.
Exactly. It has a higher turnover rate amongst preachers than working at the 7-Eleven. It goes quickly. But it doesn't help either, and a lot of people aren't following these stories regarding judicial responses. In Mississippi, where AFA is a primary place of recognition, the federal judge blocked a Mississippi law saying that churches and preachers have the right not to marry virtually or participate in the LGBT community. And the judge stated that that would be an injustice because some do and then some don't. So if some do, then all must do. The gravity for that, from what you're hearing from your radio audience.
Well, it's something that's very, very important to the AFA family, and they're already addressing it with commentary, and there'll be some initiatives launched directly in response to it. But there again, this is what's taking place when the states decide to help their constituency by passing laws and ordinances and so forth to protect the free rights or the First Amendment rights of their constituency. We see that there's federal oversight that steps in and then tells them, no, you can't do that. So the federal courts are ignoring the will of the people. Classic example of that is what we're seeing taking place in Washington, D.C., that when I talk about ad nauseum. What are you going to do, those of you listening out there today, when they march up and knock on your front door and tell you what you can't do? You better take a stand now, or hell will visit you right at your front door. They won't come a knocking and kick the door down, and we're beginning to see that now with things like what took place in Mississippi and also in Iowa.
I'm going to ask you real quickly and then give you the opportunity to tell everybody to listen to your program. Hillary Clinton, is this justice the American way, sir?
No. Hillary Clinton, I don't even know what to call it. Well, I tell you what I can call it, and I think I stole this from your page. Folks have been looking for an example of white privilege, right? Here's Exhibit A of white privilege. But I posted something. I think I stole that meme from your page. Just take a look, BLM, which is Black Lives Matter. This is what white privilege looks like, and it's a picture, a prominent picture of Hillary Clinton. And my response was, here's a meme for those who scream white privilege. So don't protest too much. Hillary, Soros, our POTUS and company will stop writing those checks if you make too much noise.
Darn Skippy. You forget those little gifts from the Clinton Foundation and from George Soros.
Oh, yeah.
Don't protest too loudly. You will not get paid. Ladies and gentlemen, Lonnie Poindexter with us tonight. Lonnie, how can people listen to your very instructive program with so many superior guests, great chirping audience, and a wonderful host? How can they listen to you?
Well, they can catch me Monday through Friday, and we broadcast at 11 a.m. That's Eastern Standard Time. And you can catch us on the web at urbanfamilytalk.com. That's urbanfamilytalk.com. And then you can also catch us in 11 broadcast markets. We have radio towers across the country as well. And you can go to urbanfamilytalk.com to find out where those towers are located. But let me just quickly tell you, we're in Cleveland, Mississippi, Madison, Tupelo, Norwood, Georgia, Rossford, which is in Toledo, Ohio. We're also in Bowling Green, this is in Ohio, Kenton, Fremont, Findlay. In Michigan, we're in Detroit, Dearborn, Ann Arbor, and Monroe, Boise, Idaho, Memphis, Tennessee, which is brand new, added to our broadcast family, as well as New York State, and which includes Long Island and 2 other locations. And that's urbanfamilytalk.com from 11 to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Awesome. It's great always being with you, man. Enjoy the ride down from Philly with you. I had a wonderful time with Lonnie. Listen, I look forward to having a great dinner with you very soon, sir.
All right, brother. God bless. I'll be talking to you on Friday.
All right. I'll see you then. Ladies and gentlemen, Lonnie Poindexter, I am just extremely proud of him, and he is just a wonderful human being. We'll be right back with the Kraken at the 10 o'clock hour. Ladies and gentlemen, we're brought to you every single night live by Sackheads Radio, SHR Media. And in fact, this is SHR Media Night. Sackhead Sean, Sackhead Clint will come on at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. They are a dynamic duo, and they have the best late-night conservative comedy talk show in the world. I mean, hands down. And ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back with the Kraken, Ralph J. Chittams, in the 10 o'clock hour. You can hear us on SHR Media. You can hear us on High Plains Pundit Media, and also Red Nation Rising. Congratulations. 2 a.m. and I sound this loud. We'll be right back.
Pugs is the world's innovator in lightweight casual footwear, utilizing memory foam and EVA technology to give the consumer one of the most lightweight, most comfortable shoes on the market. What makes Dogs one of the leading brands in this category is we've been able to combine comfort, style with affordability. And our customers and our loyal followers enjoy the fact that they can have a comfortable shoe that is very stylish, lightweight, and now we're able to offer slip resistancy in our work brands. We're able to offer functionality in our golf brand. So when they're buying Dogs and wearing Dogs, they know that they're getting the best in this category. The one thing that we've been very fortunate to experience is that a lot of our customers tend to come back to Dogs to buy some of our other styles, or they'll buy additional colors. We find, again, just because of our comfort and the durability of the shoe, that our customers tend to come back again and again to purchase our new products. Because Dogs offer such a wide variety of styles, you're able to actually purchase Dogs in uniform supply stores, golf stores, green grass stores. You can purchase, of course, online at usadogs.com. That's DAWGS. And you can also go to a lot of our web partners such as ShoeBuy and Amazon and purchase shoes directly through all the major online retailers as well.
You can get these very same shoes at a 50% discount through the Exceptional Conservative Show. Now, my wife went to the doctor today. Am I right, dear?
Yes.
Speak more loudly.
Yes, I went to the podiatrist.
You went to the podiatrist today. Come on, come a little closer. Yeah, speak a little louder. Okay. You went to the podiatrist today, and what did the podiatrist say about your USA Dogs?
Those are the right shoes I should be wearing.
These are the right shoes you should be wearing. Why should you be wearing these shoes?
To help my feet.
To help your feet? They give you comfort for walking where you have foot issues and things of that nature?
Yes.
All right. Terrific. Where can they go tonight, honey? Friends and family who listen to this show on the download and say that I don't have any advertisers, where can they go to get these shoes for 50% off?
They can click on the advertisement on your station.
They can click on the advertisement at my station, theexceptionalconservativeshow.com. And I thank you so much for recommending your podiatrist go to my website. I'm quite certain the AMA will be calling you soon. Thank you, dear. I love you. Oh, man. I'm telling you. Now, if a podiatrist is looking at her shoes and saying, you should be wearing those, well, what should you be wearing, America? You should be wearing the very same shoes. We'll be right back.
Hey everybody, it's Kristen. I'm here to review women's spirits made by dogs. I love these shoes. I am an FM sufferer, so finding shoes that don't make my feet hurt is very tough. These don't make my feet hurt. I've tried Pumas, I've tried Nikes. Nikes are pretty good. Pumas I can't wear. They hurt my feet too much. I mean, it's to the point to where my feet hurt so bad to where I can't even walk. So I was so happy whenever I was contacted to review the new dogs. I love these dogs. I love these things. My feet don't hurt when I wear them. They got the holes in them to keep my feet cool. They got massaging bumpies inside. Feels like you're walking on little things of foam. I mean, like, it's just awesome. I just love it. The heel is a deep well down in your heel, and it protects, it's a shock absorber. So if you're running in them or jumping in them, like if you're on a trail and you have to jump in them, it absorbs the shock. What else? And then it's a higher thing back here for your heel. So it's like a really high thing that protects your ankle from when you're running, so there's no injuries, so it doesn't cause injuries. It's Velcro, so it's very easy to tighten your shoe, so whenever you're running, your shoe won't fall off when you're trying to run. I love these shoes, and I hope you guys really appreciate this review, and there will be pictures at the end, like always. But I wish you would guys go check them out. They're only, these women's spirits are $40. There's a whole bunch of other kind of shoes that you can purchase as well. There are children's shoes, toddler shoes, infant shoes, men's shoes, women's shoes. Anything you can think of, they got it. And they're pretty cool. So I hope you guys enjoy, and I will see you next time. Bye.
Try.
Time for an unpleasant blind guy, conservative bite.
Good people, this is your leader talking. I would like to promise you, promise them this, that, and the other thing. I promise you this, that, and the other thing. So everybody, go home, kick off your shoes, turn on the TV, and relax.
Well, that sounded pretty ridiculous, didn't it? For those who don't know, that's from the 1960s television program Gilligan's Island, where Gilligan, in a dream, found himself president of a nation. And the idea there of how to govern was to listen to the special interests, tell the people what they wanted to hear, and then encourage everyone to leave everything up to the all-knowing government. People, we are now locked in a contentious primary season of 2016. Tempers are flaring, emotions are high, and there are many people who don't want to lose again. Now, don't get me wrong. I hate losing. Losing sucks. But we need to be very careful of the candidate that we, as conservatives, place before the world as a choice for President of the United States. The media is filled now with accusations, counter-accusations from one candidate to the other and back again. But I'm asking you to vote as only conservatives can. Use your intelligence. Instead of celebrity, vote for sincerity. Instead of posturing, vote for principles. And instead of rhetoric, vote for a long-established conservative record. Look at your candidate's friends and look at their enemies. And understand that whoever that candidate is, they will be representing you and your principles in the great arena of the general election in November. Though you might want to vote with your heart, I encourage you to vote with your head. Don't be a Gilligan. Do your own legwork. Research your own candidates and research the others. Love your country with passion, but vote with wisdom. This has been an unpleasant blind guy conservative fight.
Hey, it's Jersey Joe. Closing Reaver, Common Sense. You can catch me every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on shrmedia.com. That's every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, shrmedia.com.
There you go. Jersey Joe is awesome. Simply awesome. So glad to have you here tonight at the Exceptional Conservative Show, live from the nation's capital. We are not ashamed of the good news of conservatism, for it is the power of liberation. First to the Republican and then the Socialist. We have on the line right now none other than Ralph J. Chittams Sr. When he wears his glasses, he's a mild-mannered Republican. When he takes them off, he's the Kraken. And tonight we're about to release the Kraken on America. Good evening, Mr. Chittams Sr. How you doing?
I'm well. Good evening, Mr. Exceptional. How are you?
I'm doing quite well indeed. First and foremost, congratulations to you. You were there holding the papers for Director James Comey. I don't know if he read the last page the way you wanted him to.
You bring me on the air and automatically you're trying to raise my blood pressure.
You wrote it so well for him. I thought a conviction was coming right there. Ralph, what happened?
Man, that thing was written with crayons. Basically, what James Comey has just told America is, if you're voting for Hillary Clinton, understand that you're voting for somebody who isn't a criminal. She's just flat out stupid. Let's cut to the chase. That's basically what he said. She didn't know that what she was doing was illegal. She's a lawyer.
Wow.
Former First Lady, former Secretary of State of the United States, and she's too stupid not to know that it's against the law to use a private server. So basically, he's given Democrats in this country a choice by saying, oh, she's not a criminal, she's just stupid, and we should trust her with the nuclear code, even though she's as dumb as a brick.
Oh, maybe that's why she prefers being blonde.
Anybody who thought that Hillary Clinton was going to get indicted or in any sort of trouble in any way, shape, or form clearly lives in a state where marijuana is legal.
Yeah, and I was one of those. So thank you. When you look at when you look at the litany of things that she was guilty of, I mean, if it were you or me, we would be sitting behind bars right now.
But understand, it's not important what she did. Look at how the dominoes were set up. Just look at the dominoes. Bill Clinton appointed Loretta Lynch in 1990 to be the U.S. Attorney. Bill Clinton did that. That appointment alone set her up to be appointed by Barack Obama to be the Attorney General. Now, back in 2013, Barack Obama appointed James Comey to head the FBI. So now you have the two highest ranking people involved in this investigation, in bed with Hillary Clinton's husband and the current president of the United States, who is backing Hillary Clinton to be president, and people actually expected Hillary Clinton to be indicted?
Wow.
Please.
Wow. Now,
look at the dominoes.
But one of the things that was said about Hillary Clinton, and we're talking with Ralph J. Chittams Sr., who is the Kraken, and can also be heard on radio. News One, with the Ascot Man. Can anyone put the keys to the nuclear codes in the hands of this woman, or put her in charge as commander in chief, when for just forgetting your communications devices as a member of the military, when you report, you lose your security clearances? This woman actually put several servers, not one, but several servers and several pieces of equipment to use to give away classified information that not only Putin says he has, but North Korea say they have, and China say they have. Do we put her in charge of that?
Well, clearly, if you're a Democrat, you do. I mean, literally, if anybody else in the country did this, they would be up on charges of espionage and treason. And this woman gets away with it, and she's going to run for president. As Don King would say, only in America.
Only in America. Don King will be at Freedom Fest. So
only in America.
I'll have to talk with Don King about Hillary. Only in America. Ladies and gentlemen, we are talking with Ralph J. Chittams Sr. He is vice chair of the DC GOP and a great friend of the fam. I want to talk with you now about something that's slightly bigger than Hillary. I don't know what is bigger than Hillary being able to get off. I'm quite certain that Black Lives Matters is quite envious of her. But the whole concept, I'm picking up from what our conversation was with Lonnie Poindexter in the last segment, of the power of the LGBT community. In the District of Columbia, you are now censored. You cannot say certain things to, for, or about the LGBTQI community, lest you be fined by the Office of Human Rights. Your thoughts, your commentary regarding that?
People, folks need to understand that the homosexual community, the Borg have arrived on planet Earth, years earlier than Star Trek anticipated. Because with this community, their message is basically, you will be assimilated, resistance is futile. They don't want to coexist with Christians.
No.
They want to subject us to just complete and utter annihilation, and we will either assimilate to what they want, or they will seek to destroy our institutions and destroy us individually. And I dare any homosexual to step to me and tell me differently, considering everything that's going on in the country right now.
Now, they have made a great infiltration of both parties. And how is it that in the District of Columbia that we would be able to overcome the censorship noticed by the Office of Human Rights? Is this constitutionally correct? I mean, do we challenge it in court, or do we submit?
Oh, no, we challenge it.
Okay.
We challenge it. I dare somebody to step to me and tell me that I can't exercise my First Amendment right, because we're going to take this to court.
Awesome. Awesome.
And as Christians, we can't be afraid to fight. And part of our problem, in the Christian faith, is we've been presented with a false image of Jesus. We've been presented with an image of Jesus as a Birkenstock-wearing hippie who walked around talking love, peace, and dope. But we forget about the verse where he
Man, I tell you.
Masculine Jesus and get away from this sissified Jesus.
Exactly. We are talking with Ralph J. Chittams, Sr. He is the DC GOP Vice Chairman. Ralph, how can people hear you? Are you on this week on News One with Mr.
No,
Ascot?
they haven't contacted me yet for being on this week, so I don't know if I'm going to be on this week or not. They usually let me know, unfortunately, like the day before.
Exactly. 30 minutes of. Come on down to the station. But you do a tremendous job on that program, and I have never seen one man make so many progressive liberals on both sides of him so pissed off in just segments. It's just awesome to watch and to behold.
For me, my job is, I'm not there to piss them off. My job is to try to make them think.
Mm-hmm. But you know they don't want to do that.
You can make a liberal think, which is hard enough.
Yeah.
But take that leap, ecological thought, you can beat them every time in an argument.
Exactly. Because after you get past the talking points, it's all over with them. I want to play a clip for you, Ralph, because it borders on two things. Something that's happening in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and the other thing that's happening right here. And this is a DC firefighter who has been suspended and is under investigation because of something he did on Facebook. Want to play that for you?
First and foremost, I don't condone any cops being hurt or anything like that, okay? My post was in regard to something that happened in Baton Rouge, Louisiana this morning, where what appeared to be two rogue cops shot a man who was on the ground pinned by the police in cold blood. Amongst many things that have been happening in this country over the past couple of years, and all these police officers have been walking. I do not condone any violence against any good, innocent people, cops, or whatever. All I'm saying is that if anybody, whether it's a criminal cop or a criminal person, tries to attack you or makes you feel some sort of way inside your own community, you have the right as an American citizen to defend yourself. And that's all I put in my Facebook status. Okay, anyone else who sees that any differently, then I don't know what to tell you, because I've never committed a crime in my life. I love my people and I say what I got to say.
Understood. Let's go over the post. So you said these racist, expletive cops who are murdering our people need to start turning up the same way. What did you mean by that, turning up the same way?
What I'm saying is this. If someone is out here committing crimes against the rules of this country and murdering people, then, I mean, I'm not wishing death upon anyone. All I'm saying is that if a person off the street commits a crime, they're punished for it. These people are not being punished. I don't wish any harm on any innocent people or anyone in that instance. I'm just saying, that's what my post was about. Maybe I use strong language, but that's just what it is. I mean, these events are starting to affect me and my family and my friends. And if you're a black person out there or just a concerned American and you're not concerned about it, I feel sorry for you.
As a firefighter, though, do you think you should be encouraging violence against your fellow first responders?
See, you're taking my words out of context. I do not encourage any violence against police officers. I encourage that you defend yourself against someone who is doing harm against you. That is what my post stated. If you took that out of context, then I'm sorry. But that is what I'm about.
You say those pigs in Baton Rouge deserve nothing short of a bullet in their heads. See how their families feel after that. Wouldn't that be encouraging people to shoot police officers?
No. What that post was implying is that if these officers shot this man for no apparent reason, which you can clearly watch the video, the store owner, the clerk, just came out this morning, okay, and he stated that the police officer did not have any reason to shoot the man. See, you guys are rushing to my house and you want to come talk to me about something that I'm reacting to. Go talk to those cops. Because I'm not the one out here killing innocent people. It ain't me.
So tell us what your status is now with your employment. We know that you're on leave.
I'm not commenting on that right now. I've done nothing wrong. I've not broken any laws. I've acted on my freedom of speech. Plain point, period. I apologize if I offended anybody, but that post was not intended towards any good cops. So I just hope you play this interview to its entirety and don't try to make it seem like I'm out here doing anything wrong.
If you could.
Norman Brooks is a firefighter for the District of Columbia, Ralph, and I want to welcome everyone back to the Exceptional Conservative Show. Norman Brooks made some statements on Facebook, which is why Whether you put a server up or you type onto the computer, some things you should only keep in your thoughts and not necessarily profess to the public. But Norman Brooks, a firefighter, said these in a post on Facebook. He's a DC firefighter. These racist blankety blank cops who are murder our people need to start turning up the same way. They shouldn't feel safe walking the streets, and neither should their supporters. Protesting is a lost cause, and it makes us all look like a bunch of blankety blank. These evil blankety blank don't have any compassion. They are going to let them pigs go free and probably start a GoFundMe and make a millionaires. It's time to stop praying, stop protesting, start buying guns, and start protecting ourselves from these crooked blankety blank racist cops. If you are a cop and are not in support of these people, then it's about time to start turning these types of blankety blanks in, or at least giving out some addresses so we the people can handle them.
That's highly inflammatory and over the top. Now, I am, you know me.
Yeah.
I'm a law and order guy. If you can't do the time, don't do the crime.
Yeah.
And I'm also big on personal and civil liberties. And, that situation with Mr. Sterling down in Baton Rouge, I watched the 2 videos that have been released repeatedly. And from my vantage point, I can see no reason why, with 2 cops kneeling on this man's chest, with his arms pinned to the ground, they had to pump 4 bullets into him. Now, I understand what the firefighter is saying, but you just can't go out on the street and just start gunning down cops because 1 or 2 of them may be racist pigs.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm also a huge Second Amendment guy. And we know that if you call 911 in an emergency, depending upon where you live in this country, it can take up to 10 minutes for the cops to get to you.
Yeah.
The crooks are going to do what they want to do probably in 4 minutes or less. So that leaves you 6 minutes out of pocket. So that's why I'm a big Second Amendment guy, because if somebody comes across my fence, cross my windowsill, cross my threshold that doesn't belong there, they're going to be carried back out again. But, this guy Brooks, you can't say what he said, because what you're going to get is what happened after Ferguson, with people literally walking up on policemen, sitting in their cruisers, minding their business, eating their lunch, and attempting to assassinate them. And that cannot be tolerated, that cannot be accepted, and that cannot be condoned.
Now, DC Fire EMS spokesperson Doug Buchanan said in a statement, the matter involving Mr. Norman Brooks was brought to the attention of the DC Fire and EMS department this afternoon by law enforcement officials investigating this matter. Immediately upon learning of the allegations, Norman Brooks was placed on administrative duty pending the outcome of the law enforcement investigation, as well as an internal review by the DC Fire and EMS department. Norman Brooks has been with the department since 2007. Now, first and foremost, the DC Fire and EMS department has been under a great deal of intensive watch by those in the public domain and those in public leadership, beginning with the heart attack of a gentleman who was right across the street from a fire station in Northeast Washington, D.C. There was a stinging report by the deputy fire chief who resigned earlier this year about the culture of the fire department. Is this a sign that an entire investigation needs to be done of everyone who's in the DC fire, or is that just taking it too far? Is the culture broken amongst DC fire and EMS?
Well, I don't know if the culture is broken, and the reason I say I don't know is because I haven't seen and reviewed any of the comprehensive reports. Now, in any large organization, you are going to have rogues. You're going to have bad cops. You're going to have bad firefighters. But let's just flip this back for a second. This guy was put on administrative leave and probably going to get fired for something that he said, but Hillary Clinton let Ambassador Stevens get murdered to cover up Obama's gun running in Benghazi, and she's about to be elected president. Like Lonnie said, you know, come on, privilege is a bitch. I'm sorry.
It actually, yeah, I mean, what he said was inflammatory. Yes, in New York earlier this year, 2 cops were killed while they were sitting in their vessel, just eating lunch. And someone walked up on them and killed them, and blamed Black Lives Matter. So the bottom line is there is antithesis out there in the community. There are some people who are flaming the flyer. There are others, however, who are trying to take advantage of this in a very not so wholesome way. The 37-year-old...
Oh, of course. BLM is going to be in Baton Rouge by the weekend.
Yeah, they are.
And if Baton Rouge isn't lucky, you're going to think that what they did in Baltimore at the corner of North and Pennsylvania Avenue was a bonfire.
Ferguson was just a campfire in comparison to what they would like to do down in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. In terms of finality with this, apparently the videos were not necessarily clear. There was a gun in his pocket.
Wait, stop right there.
Okay.
He had a gun in his pocket.
Mm-hmm.
When the police approached him, it was clear the gun was not in his hand, because if the gun was in his hand, they would not have tackled him.
Mm-hmm.
So if he had a gun in his pocket. Clearly, you have 2 cops. One is kneeling on his left arm. His arm is pinned to the ground. The other cop is kneeling across his torso on his chest. Clearly, what they probably felt was the gun in his pocket. Somebody yelled gun, and then they shoot him in the chest and kill him? No. Honestly, like I said, I've only seen the videos, and I've viewed them a number of times, to the best of my ability, slowed them down and looked at it. This one, well, first of all police shootings need to be investigated.
Yes, they should.
Period.
Yes, they should.
And they should. But just from my, Monday morning quarterbacking, from what I saw, just my opinion, I think an indictment should come down for these 2 cops.
Well, at least one cop, the one who fired. The other one didn't fire.
Okay, yeah, well, who was right? The one who's definitely fired.
Exactly.
Because, just looking at that, it's like, okay, yeah, he's a big dude. But you got 2 cops kneeling on this dude, pinned him to the ground, and you're still going to have to kill him? I have friends and family in law enforcement from here to California, and half the states in between. You're not going to find anybody who's more pro-cop than me.
Yeah.
And so when I see a police officer that acts out of pocket, that acts in a manner which causes other police to be put in a bad light, which puts those good police officers' lives in danger, that really ticks me off. And I want to go after the bad guys, because I really, really, really love the good guys.
I understand exactly. You and I share that common opinion. My only issue regarding this particular thing is there's only one event that I've seen recently, not including the Chicago killing with the gentleman getting 16 bullets in his body. but in South Carolina where the gentleman shot him as he was running from him, that is indictable. I think we need to have some reservation of thought on what we see beyond what's presented in this particular case, because sometimes even the cameras not necessarily catch the view that we want or can perceive.
Right. But you noticed the caveat when I spoke. I spoke based upon the two videos that I have seen.
Yep. Exactly.
So I'm holding out, the possibility that there might be something else. But when the police reports come out and say that the gun was retrieved from his pocket, and you see the two cops sitting on his chest, and the man winds up dead, you do have to scratch your head and go, what happened here?
Yeah, exactly. Let's find out exactly what happened in this regard. And a lot of people, and I must say this, Ralph, and you understand where I come from on this. A lot of people immediately jump to me and say, well, Ken, you're just so biased and so prejudiced you can't see the truth. No, I want to see the truth, and I want to hear the whole story, because so often people have overreacted to stories and not necessarily gotten the clear picture, just like the 6 cops in Baltimore, which is a complete overreaction by Marilyn Mosby and so on. Ralph, how can people follow you, dude? I mean, because you're an awesome man who's doing great things throughout the country.
Well, unfortunately, I had to come off social media. I'm going to probably be off for another couple of weeks. I'm being vetted for a position that I can't talk about, so it was recommended that I shut down all my social media accounts because, as you know, the Kraken can go off sometimes.
No! Really?
But people can always drop me a note at ralph.chittams@dcgop.com. I would love to, communicate with any and all of your listeners. We just have to continue to fight the good fight of conservatism. And also, just remember that segment that you were talking about with Lonnie.
Yeah.
Hillary Clinton, the next president of the United States, has the possibility of nominating 5 Supreme Court justices. The one to replace Scalia, and we have 4 others that are age 77 or older.
Yeah.
Now, do you really want Hillary Clinton nominating 5 LGBTQP homosexual justices support the killing of full-term babies? Do you really want her in the White House?
No. Absolutely.
Think about when you go to vote in November.
Absolutely. Ralph J. Chittams, we're going to put the Kraken back in. Thank you, sir. We love you, man. God bless you. And congratulations on the vetting.
Pleasure.
You'll probably be better vetted than the Syrians that come into this country. Ladies and gentlemen, I also want to thank Dave Milner. It was Cecil Mills who had the heart attack at a store, outside the store or shopping mall across from a actual fire station on Rhode Island Avenue Northeast. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to quickly go to a break. When we come back, the next voice you will hear on this Sackheads Radio Night is none other than Shannon Wright. Yes, Shannon Wright takes center stage. We'll be right back.
Well, welcome to Freedom Fest 2015. I think this is the best Freedom Fest we've ever put together.
Freedom Fest is truly international. There's people from all over the world that come to Freedom Fest, not just to talk, but also to participate in dialogue, participate in the panels, to participate in the audience.
So hold your breath, lock your seatbelts. I hope you ate your Wheaties today.
We are enslaved by government mandates. What light bulb you can buy, what car you can drive, how you heat and cool your home. So what health insurance?
Europe actually has allowed itself to be held hostage of this entire Greek situation.
They have the courage to do debates. You have debates on foreign policy, on taxes, on what's going on in the world, on how to invest and how to run your own life.
Use an example of restaurants. Don't open a restaurant because it's so competitive you'll never make any money. Really? I mean, been to Chipotle lately? How many believe that Peter Thiel won the argument competition is overrated in America? And how many favor John Mackey's response?
So here's the moment many of you have been waiting for, myself included, and I think it's the reason why this room is completely packed all the way to the back as far as I can see. I think I worked about 8 years to put together this debate. I have to say, it's really kind of depressing to see people holding up the Reagan story, which is so obviously different if you pay any attention to the story, as that's the best argument, really? That's the best argument?
And the middle class and the poor, the people you say you care most about, are the people who've been hurt the most by these policies because they've had no income growth at all.
Thank you. They already left 2 waters for me. I'll probably only need 1. So I appreciate it. In America today, higher education is controlled by a cartel. And they say, oh, let's take out a loan and pay for this. And no one bothers to tell them that the market for Greek philosophers has been tight for 2,000 years.
So in terms of its 2 major policy objectives, stable prices in a stable economy, the Fed has clearly failed.
And if the Federal Reserve actually did the right thing, the market would crash.
Every country in the world has a lower corporate tax rate than us. Can we fix that?
This, in my view, is the premier libertarian event in the country.
You probably need the largest cross-section of philosophically based groups of any conference anywhere in the world.
Some of the smartest people in our country come together here to discuss the ideas, the challenges. This is an engaged group of individuals.
This is all about the mind. It's not about how fancy you are.
Feisty discussions, interesting people to meet.
I love it. This is my first time doing anything like this. It's not going to be well after.
It's the only place you get this many people who agree with me. Nobody, I live in New York. Nobody agrees with me.
You know, war is not the health of the state. War is the death of liberty and freedom. And that's a mentality that is particularly strong in the Republican Party, but it's also strong in the Democratic Party.
I want the government to be this small. I want the individuals to be this big.
We are people when we are at our greatest that we lead by example. We don't jam it down anybody's throat. We don't force them to live our way. We don't nation build.
Very interesting. There's a lot of variety of stuff.
Hear ye, hear ye. Freedom Fest Court is now in session.
We are gathered here in this great sovereign state of Nevada to decide the fate of the country's central bank, the Federal Reserve.
Please place your hand on this edition of Forbes 400 Richest.
It was a bubble in many markets, and that is simply mathematically impossible without the Fed creating the money to make it happen.
The Fed is guilty, 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 guilty. Court is now adjourned. God bless America, and may you always ride on the eagle of freedom. Hallelujah, and good night.
I'm Joanne Skousen. I'm the founding director of the Anthem Film Festival. And we are in our 5th year. We started in a little room on the 26th floor at Bally's, and now we've grown to huge numbers. In fact, we have a fabulous lineup of shorts.
A police officer can wear a body camera, but you as a citizen may not have access to that footage.
Live from Las Vegas.
We recognize that Freedom Fest is a big tent.
Well, I happen to like Rand Paul. I really do. By the way, in some cases, they'll build a new hospital for $1.5 billion. You could build 7 hospitals, 10 hospitals for that if you knew what you were doing.
We had almost 300 speakers.
Without a doubt, our most successful Freedom Fest ever.
And I just adore the experience. It's like a saturation of the senses, a saturation of the mind. I learned so much. I come home with way too many books. I adore Freedom Fest. I'm definitely coming back again next year.
Each year on September the 11th, ordinary citizens of the United Kingdom gather outside the United States Embassy in London. There, they show their solidarity with the people of the United States of America in remembrance of the terrorist attack on that day in 2001. the day Americans call 9/11. On July the 7th, 2005, terrorists exploded bombs in London, killing 52 people and injuring 700. The people of the United Kingdom called that day 7/7. To return and share love and respect with the citizens of the United Kingdom, please light up the darkness of the evening of July the 7th with 7 lights. These could be 7 firework rockets, 7 candles, or any other kind of lights possibly arranged in a display. Then post what you've done to your favorite social media to further remember the lives lost, those injured, and the nation attacked in the 7/7 bombings. Your posts will be a call to free people everywhere that they too can be lights standing against the darkness of Islamic terrorism. Let your light of love and resolve shine this year and in years to come by marking 7 on 7/7.
Just like a miracle, you have to see to believe. God bless Texas with his own hand. Down angels from the promised land. He gave them a place where they could dance. If you want to see heaven, well, then it's your chance. I've been sent to spread the message.
God bless Texas. Yes, God bless Texas. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the last quarter of the Exceptional Conservative Show. There are no more commercials, which is why the Underground Professor enjoys this segment most of all. Undergroundprofessor.us. Yes, Dr. Michael Jones will be joining me tomorrow night, 9 p.m. for New Day Black and Red, where the #1 urban conservative talk show host actually talks to the #2 urban conservative talk show host in America. Yes, the Underground Professor is #1. And the black man keeps holding him down. There you go. Love me some Texas, baby. God bless Texas. There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, the next voice you will hear is the lovely, the beautiful Shannon Wright. Shannon Wright, who joins me now. We will talk about a variant number of things. Now, hold on, Shannon. You were. I want you all to know I was street walking with Shannon last week. Talked to a whole lot of people.
Good evening.
Good evening, Shannon Wright. I was just relaying to the audience that we were street walking last week.
Wow, really? You're going with that?
I want you all to know that a certain streetwalker named Shannon Wright spoke to another streetwalker named Ken McClinton and advised him that he was old. Just want to let y'all know that.
I plead the fifth or something, because that does not even sound familiar. I don't think I said that.
I was holding her back. Good evening, young lady.
Boy.
It's a great honor and privilege to have you on the air tonight. You are 1 week away, a week and a half away from the Republican National Convention. How far away are you with the funds necessary to get there?
I am $800 away.
$800 away. Of course you are.
Which I have to say is not that. See, had I realized the expense of being a delegate at the same time as running a citywide campaign, I probably would not have done both at the same time. Because that is good and kept me in that little bubble, so I didn't realize But we have really covered a lot of the cost already for the conference. For those that don't know, to attend a RNC conference, once you pay different fees and this and that and all the rest, is on the other side of $3,000.
Wow.
So of that, we have $800 left.
$800 left to go. And you are expected to be speaking at the Republican National Convention, at least at one of the activities there. Yes. And, you know, let's just be very real. Although we knocked on a lot of doors, and it was hot knocking on those doors. I don't know why you didn't ask God to make sure the temperature was 72 for the whole day, not just at the beginning of the day. But
I thought that was a given. I didn't realize I had to put in a request.
You have to put a request. But it's still, even with the large number of Republicans in Baltimore City, it is still nowhere near the number of socialists, Marxists, Democrat that are out there. And so a lot of your money is going to have to come from outside. Am I right about that?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You know, because I just don't see the local Democrats getting together and holding a charitable rally for you. I just don't see it.
Somehow, I believe in miracles. However, I do not see that one happening either.
So you're $800 away, and I want to thank Mamba and Dave and Mary and everyone else along the Exceptional Conservative Show highway and byways of the internet and so on, who have been promoting you and pushing you and making certain that donations come there. But we're coming down to that last moment, and we're encouraging everyone, if you could find a way, not those who have already given. If you're already given, I'm not asking you to give up your mortgage payment here. Please don't do that.
Oh gosh, no.
Don't do that. Because we don't want to see it in the Baltimore Sun that people gave away mortgage money so that a Republican could win office.
Oh my.
Although that still would not be as bad as Hillary Clinton getting away with all the things she did. But nonetheless, if there's someone out there, I mean, $50, $20, $100 here and there, all that stuff adds up. If 80 of you can come together and say $100 a piece, she's in Cleveland. And let's just say there is a desert of black or other minorities present at this year's convention. I believe that there are 26 black delegates.
Wow. See, I would, because you say these things and then laugh, ordinarily people would think that you are making a ha-ha or a joke or a funny. However, I have actually been told that that is really pretty much about the number.
There are about 26 black delegates at the Republican National Convention. And some of that is our fault. We're not taking away our responsibility in that, but let's be honest. It ain't every day that you're getting a whole lot of support for African Americans to run as Republicans in urban America. I'm quite certain. So,
ain't that right?
This young woman has a great opportunity. It was for many people, it was a shock when you knocked on their door, and they were like, "Wow, someone's running." Am I right about that?
No, you are absolutely correct. Folks, a couple of folks looked at me and they said, you do know this is a Republican House. Yes, I do. I am here specifically for you.
You know, we vote Republican here.
Yeah. Well, it was perceived that, I couldn't possibly be one of them, coming to that door here in Baltimore. But I did not get one negative or rude response. That's
true.
Thing.
That's absolutely
real. That's a big thing.
And I was with her when we were walking the streets. And there was an older lady. I think she was 81 years old.
She was turning 80.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
You know, these things make a difference when you get into certain age ranges, so, you know, be careful there. But it was funny because I went to the door and I rang the bell and I didn't get a response. And I was leaving literature and I went back to the car and was going to go to the next house. And I saw someone come to the door, so I went back. And she was making jokes. She said, you know, it takes me a minute to, you know, get to the door, but I'm glad you're still here. And we actually talked for a minute. And I went to shake her hand, and she said, well, can I give you a hug? Because you're going to need all the support you can get. And she offered to put up a sign in her yard and do phone banking and all that great stuff. She was really, really supportive. And just tickled that somebody was actually out and asking for her vote.
Exactly. Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking tonight with Shannon Wright. I just want to get her comment on a few things. Actually, just one other thing. And then really the bulk of this conversation from there on would be helping her raise the $800 that's needed to get to Cleveland, the RNC convention in Cleveland. No, they're not giving out any charity for those of you who are looking at home, and there's no affirmative action scholarships for the convention. You got to come. And so today, Representative Elijah Cummings, the Baltimore Democrat, made reference to the fact that Governor Hogan did not take any of the $2.9 billion light rail project money from the federal government. He rejected fast lane. And as a result of him rejecting fast lane, the Obama administration made certain that two of the biggest projects that could have created a whole lot of jobs in Baltimore, MD, did not get funded. It was a request for $231 million for two large transportation projects on I-95 and also at Port Covington in South Baltimore. And also the Howard Street Tunnel project, $155 million there. So what say you, ma'am? Is this tit for tat good?
We unfortunately do not have a lot of time for me to really get into this. But there's some significant things going on in the city of Baltimore. So, you know, sometimes when you run for office, you sometimes have to jump out there and start doing things that you would be doing if you were elected just because that's what the city needs.
Yeah.
So in this case, this is one of those examples. Last night I had the opportunity to speak at a forum at a community meeting, and one of the other folks that was there and speaking was a currently elected city council member. He is the only one on record that is not in support of the Port Covington development deal. Now, that is important because there are 14 council members representing 14 councilmatic districts in the city of Baltimore. Now, listen and try and keep up because I know I'm talking fast to get this all in. You've got 14 councilmatic districts, 14 representatives, and the city council president. That makes 15. Now, everyone that's outside of Baltimore looking at Port Covington thinks that it is an awesome deal. These two particular transportation projects were directly related to Port Covington. One was to bring Route 95 Turnpike directly into Port Covington so that from every direction conceivably possible, you would have easy access to 95 from Port Covington. And the other one was to bring, you know, another development, another road, major access into that area. Now, here's the problem with that. And I need you all to follow this very carefully. This deal, Port Covington, Sagamore, Kevin Plank, Under Armour, all related and wrapped up into one. This deal is the size of 51 square city blocks. It is the equivalent of taking from downtown to the inner harbor in Baltimore, picking it up, and moving it over. That is the area, the size of the area we are talking about that is supposed to be Port Covington. 51 square city blocks. Now, for the most part, Sagamore, Kevin Plank, already owns the land. They purchased the land. They bought it. They have their own ideas, their own plan. Now, here's the problem. And this is the part that does not get reported for reasons I hope I get a chance to get to. They own the land. There's nothing on the land. They have now asked for the city to approve this development deal. Now, for them, this development deal, quote unquote, means they have asked the city of Baltimore to pay $660 million for their project on their land that they own. I hope y'all ain't hearing me here. Okay? $660 million for development, for construction, for infrastructure on land they own. That's number one.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, they asked for an easement and an abatement of any federal, state, or local laws regarding low-income or fair market value income residents on the whole development.
Yeah.
Okay? And lastly, they also asked for a 25-year tax abatement.
Mm-hmm.
So, now, basically what the governor then said was, y'all have some issues there. Y'all need to work that out. I'm not getting in that. That's what reading between the lines of those deals not being funded.
Ah.
So I need people to understand this deal is being pushed through so fast. Now, being that I won my primary, I'm actually starting to get briefings from City Hall. So I got a copy of the Port Covington Master Plan, and I actually took the time to read it. All multiple hundreds of pages. I read it. There is nothing concrete in there with the exception of the 10 square blocks from the center where Under Armour is going to move their headquarters to. And the infrastructure in that 10 square block space, they don't want any assistance from the city in terms of infrastructure development. So in other words, they bought the land. They want the city to put up $660 million, waive their need to have any low or moderate or fair market value housing in this Port Covington development, and a 25-year tax abatement. Now, that's what they want right now. Then, as a part of the development of the master plan, there's another $665 million on the back end of the deal, which brings the total cost for the city of Baltimore to $1.2 billion.
Wow. Wow.
Plus 25 years tax abatement. They've also asked the city on the money that the city gives them for the city to pay the interest on that money.
Wow.
Now, the problem is, yeah, as if any of that wasn't already a problem. The problem is the city has already passed their approval of the master plan.
Wow.
The next hearing for the development deal is next week, and on the 27th of this month, there are 3 bills before City Council because these folks are so slick. And I'm going to tell you why I'm saying that in a minute. But they are so slick that the passage of this Port Covington deal has been removed from the voters, and it has been broken down into 3 bills before City Council. So for those of you that aren't really getting what I'm saying, it's the equivalent of all 600,000 residents of the city of Baltimore being told that they have to go in their bank, take out $1,000, and give it to Kevin Plank.
Well, that's a kind thing to do, isn't it?
I'm going to give him some Under Armour, some stock or something in return. Now, the problem is there was a community benefits agreement that was attached to the contract.
Yeah.
And what I said in the meeting last night, and I explained to people, as I said, I appreciate what's being said. However, y'all need to understand something. My understanding of the legal language is this. When someone is serious about honoring a part of an agreement, it is in the body of the agreement, not on the backside.
Exactly.
An addendum, a community, an addition to, means it is not a part of the main body, means there are no legal ramifications for me ignoring it, and everything I want is already in the body. So y'all go with that if you want to. That's number 1. And number 2, my black folk, listen to me. Stop asking for jobs. Y'all asking for jobs on this construction project, on this development project. How long do those jobs last? the length of that construction, and what happens to those people when that construction project is done. They're back looking for jobs again. So if you really want something, you put a community benefit agreement in the body of the development deal, and you ask for things that have long-term sustainability and benefits to the community. You don't ask for a basketball court. You don't ask for a construction job. You ask for
I'm sorry, but that is
an internship program, something that you are no longer giving away to fish, but you are teaching people how to fish.
That is so urban community activist centered. Give me a basketball court. Give us a little area, a little school within, and you go ahead and take billions of dollars off the table. Of course, Plank is not donating $800 to your campaign, is he?
No. But one thing I do have to say is, Councilman Stokes last night at this community forum, out of his own mouth said, the best I can do is slow this bill down because it has already been greased.
Wow. Kickbacks.
I hope y'all got that.
Kickbacks, corruption, baby. It is all that Washington has become under the Democrat regimes. How can people support you to make certain that these types of schemes don't get past the American people?
Pretty please with sugar on top. Go to wrightformaryland.com and make a contribution of whatever you can. I don't care if it's $1. Every dollar counts, and it all adds up. We have to make sure that we are in a position for our voices to be heard. This can no longer continue.
Amen. Shannon Wright, Wright for Maryland. She's also taken center stage, and we love her for it. Thank you so much for being here tonight. We'll be talking with you next week, live from Vegas. Ladies and gentlemen, a friend of mine once told me, can always be brave. I promise you I always will. And I want you to know, God bless America. You need to know that America needs to bless God. We'll be back tomorrow night, New Day Black and Red. We're sending this out for Dave. Love ya.